Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Ives number WS406CCV in the US10. We sure don't sell US10 that often these days, and have not for years. I personally find it a timeless finish, even though it's kind of fallen out of favor. Not kind of, it has, certainly. If this was the 1970s, this would be all the rage. But luckily they still manufacture it. They still make it. US10 is satin brass. Pardon me, that's not correct. US10 is satin bronze. Satin bronze is going to be a brushed finish over a bronze-based material by definition, and also give you a lacquer finish over it. It would be accurate to call this 612 because that's going to tell us that it's a non-ferrous material, and in this case it would be bronze. It's probably made of brass, actually. Some alloy thereof. Satin brushed finish, finish resulting in a satin, then with a lacquer, and that's that sheen that you see on there. Okay, so the CCV, that's going to be concave, is what that stands for, and we'll get to the product catalog in a moment. Where are you going to use this? You're going to use this when you need a wall stop or a wall bumper to prevent your hardware from making contact with the wall. Okay, that can be a knob, it can be a lever, it can be a pull handle, it can be anything really that you want to, with this rubber insert, stop from making contact. But this one specifically, being concave, is really the intended purpose when you have a button function on a keyed lock or privacy, a push button on a privacy, a push turn button on an entrance function, a push button on a office function. Because some locks, when you push that button in and then pull the door closed, it's locked. When you open the door, you want the button from the knob or the lever to go inside the hole so that you're not automatically depressing that button every single time, causing a locked or a rigid condition on the exterior trim. Some locks, the good ones, will, when you pull the door closed and the latch is pushed in, will pop the button out, but not all do that. So the reason you want this is because you don't want someone to play a joke on their buddy. Aha, I'm going to lock you out of the bathroom. Push the button, pull the door closed. Now you got to go get the key. That's what this is intended to prevent, is the bottom line. So this is a concave rubber wall bumper. The extended description down below gives us the dimensional properties. Before we get to that, let's pull up the product brochure and let's pull the properties from there as well. The WS406, 2.5-inch base diameter. This is actually a bit closer to 2 7/16. They have a base thickness of 3/8 and then a projection of 1 inch. All of that is accurate. The extended description information tells us that this is constructed of sturdy yet economical wrought base of brass or stainless, so this will be made of a brass material. Feature concealed tamper-proof mounting, I'd say tamper-resistant. This will include fasteners. You're going to get what we would know as a roll plug or a hollow wall anchor, and then a screw. So you could do a drywall, you could do wood, you could do masonry or tile with this anchor package. You are literally going to force your screwdriver, your screw, and then your screwdriver down through that hole. That hole will open up and permit you to insert a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. And then that screw is going to get stuck out the back of that hole. And then you'll have the screw captive in the unit. You'll force your screwdriver in and you'll tighten it. That's how it gets installed. Shipped factory pre-assembled backplate to reduce installation cost. Yep, that's all. The shell is already peened down over the base. Easy installation. Is compliant with ANSI 156.16. For that reference, should that be important, you probably would be. You'll see hardware that must be compatible, compliant with ANSI or BHMA listings. Okay, and again, satin bronze. that link to the product brochure is also going to tell us there's lots of finishes. US3, 605 polished brass. US4, 606 satin brass. US5, 609 antique brass. Or US10, 612 satin bronze. US10B, 613 oil rub bronze. US15, 619 satin nickel. US15A or 620 finish antique nickel. US26 or 625 finish polished chrome. US26D or 626 satin chrome. They can do a 630 or a 32D finish, which is stainless steel. The difference between the Ives number or the US number and the BHMA number is the US number. It tells us the finish. US 10, it tells us satin bronze. But when you convert it to the BHMA equivalent, you can do US 10 in either a 639 finish or a 612 finish. That's made of steel, 639. 612 is made of brass or bronze. So the BHMA numbers are better to use, in my opinion. They're more valuable because it inherently defines the base material. If I order something that's 613, the manufacturer better not be sending a powder-coated oil rub bronze equivalent over a stainless base material, because 613 means oil rubbed finish over bronze. Very clear. We all know what we're dealing with when we have good, proper part numbers. I think manufacturers will use the US numbers because they don't want to necessarily qualify what finish the item is or it isn't. I see things called US15 all the time. That's nickel, that's satin nickel. Well, it turns out it's made of zinc or Zamac, and it does look like satin nickel, but it ain't steel and it ain't brass base material. So anyway, there's not to beleaguer the point any further. That product catalog is going to show you a 406 CVX, which is a convex, or 406 CCV, which is a concave. The 407 version is different in the fact that their screw package is different, and that's the only difference. The 406 will come with a wood screw and a plastic anchor. The 407 will come with a screw and a drywall anchor. For whatever reason, and there's obviously been a change, they're including both anchors. Or maybe it's an error. But the bottom line is order the part number accordingly. Meaning, if you know that you're going into masonry, tile, order a 406. If you know you're doing a drywall application, order a 407. CVX for convex, CCV for concave. You're in good shape. The old part numbers were 406 for convex, 406 and a half for concave, but they've changed them. The parentheses are the old part numbers. Those are the ones that I remember. There's also a link to a cut sheet, which is a technical drawing of the item, giving you instructions on how to do it. The important thing there is that you're drilling a 1/4-inch hole if you're using that plastic anchor. Obviously, if you're going into, wood, you're not going to, drill a 1/4-inch hole. That'd be too big for that screw. About 80% of the root diameter is what you'd probably drill that at. I don't know what size that is, but, well, like, I don't want to identify something and then tell you I don't know. So let's just tell you. So if I was going to say, the root of that screw is 0.140, so just heavy on an eighth. I'd probably be looking at drilling something about 110 thousandths, something in that range. Obviously 110 thousandths is shy on 1/8 of an inch. Probably 1/8 would work. I like wire size drill bit sets because they're so much more significantly fine-tuned on their increments rather than a fractional set. Anyway, there is finally a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Ives products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. If you have any questions on the Ives, number WS406CCV US10 concave wall-mounted door bumper or stop or any other Ives product, a company that I'm partial to. I'm partial to Ives for the fact that I'm very familiar with their product line. It's the first trim and auxiliary hardware that I was really exposed to and learned part numbers. But they also have a good technical service department backed by people who generally respond. So we appreciate 100% responsiveness, Ives. Thank you. They also have a couple of items that I like in particular, and the one that I'll mention will be their pivots. If you're doing full-size doors with offset or center-hung pivots, take a look at Ives. They've got good value, good quality. Their instructions are laid out far less complicated than what you might be accustomed to when it comes to looking at templates. And I appreciate the simplicity of the paperwork because it makes it more accessible to someone who's not installed pivots before or machined doors for them or tried to understand how they work with a vertical line of pivoting and how crucial that to be plumb is. So I appreciate Ives for those reasons. Any questions on the WS406CCV or any other Ives product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.